Hi, I'm Abigail. And I'm Georgia. We're from the last dinner party. We're chatting with Rob from Front Row Live.
I am super excited that Last Dinner Party just released their debut single. And what a debut single. It's incredible. Let's dive in and just first of all talk about where you came from, because it sounds like you've been established for quite some time. And I'm like shocked that this is just the debut.
Yeah. Well, I think we started from when we started, we knew that we wanted to establish ourselves as a live band more than anything. So we didn't want to get any rough demos out there. You know, we wanted, by the time we did release music, to be fully formed and for it to be the best version of every song that we did. So we wanted to establish ourselves in the live circuit much more than we did want to record anything. Yeah. So now that we do have a song out, it feels like people have been waiting for it.
Exactly. Because there's obviously, you know, a huge, important music scene in London that we've been, you know, involved with since we moved here as teenagers, going to gigs every night, just taking in everything. And I think we realized that we wanted to be a live band before anything else. We didn't want to, you know, put something out into the void. We wanted to have people there to receive it and to be excited and, like, you know, build up some kind of feral hype, which has luckily happened, rather than, you know, going release first. So yeah.
During this process of basically discovering the band and going through these live performances, live shows that you did, how did you go about, like, how do you feel that they helped you become like better songwriters, but also better musicians when it came to going into the studio and recording this debut single titled Nothing Matters?
I think it's confidence. Being stage musicians helped us be confident in the parts we had written, because we could see the audience's response to those parts and how they all came together. So being able to play the parts over and over and refine them constantly and make them the best possible versions of themselves, it meant that when we went into the studio, the parts were as good as we could possibly make them.
Yeah.
So it helped our musicianship and songwriting in that way.
Yeah. And I think it's like, on the record, I feel like the energy and the theatricality of how we perform comes through, and I think that's from being a live band first and foremost. We didn't want it to sound, you know, too formulaic, or, you know, it wanted to sound like we kind of, you know, done it in one take, and it was this energy that was captured in the same way that our live shows are, and I think hopefully we did that.
This debut single is perfect. There's nothing that I would want to change. There's nothing that I feel it needs, right? It has everything that a music lover would want to hear. Take me into that creative process, that initial writing process. Abigail, what was that like for you, and what kickstarted that song?
So it was, I wrote it now maybe nearly 2 years ago about my boyfriend at the time. And it kind of, I don't know, I was in his room, he wasn't there, and he had a piano, and I sort of sat down and just started writing it, because I just felt the need to just write the truest love song that I could. I feel like often I'm more drawn to writing lyrics about difficult love or heartbreak or more sort of tragic things. And I thought, you know what, I want to capture this euphoria of how it feels to be in love, and make it just carnal and fun and serious and also not serious, and just like, you know, how it feels to be in love and just to feel a little bit insane. Yeah, and that's the genesis of it.
Would you say that was the first experience for you writing something in the moment as it was happening?
Yeah, actually, because I feel like I tend to write also in retrospective often, and this was during my relationship, rather than looking back on it. So I think that added to the frantic earnestness of it, which was cool.
Now, the fact that you were opening up so much, being vulnerable in such a topic, not knowing what kind of audience would be listening to this, because this is the debut single, what kind of nerves did that bring to the table? And how do you feel that your producer was able to, like, help you be more comfortable during this process?
James.
Yeah, we worked with a really incredible producer called James Ford.
Genius.
Who is someone I've admired the work of for as long as I can remember, really. So it was kind of like being starstruck working with him. But he was just so incredible at taking our vision and just making it what you've heard today. So obviously it started out with all of the parts already being written, but there's just a shininess to it and like, yeah,
a confidence
in it. Like, you know, the guitar solo that Emily played kind of emerged. It's so good.
Oh my god, that came like from the studio. Like it was different when we played it live, and then as we went into record, as the weeks went on and we got more confident and more excited, she was like, I want to do something else, and it kind of it came out of her.
And I think like the whole song has a real kind of triumphant and euphoric energy, and I think that comes from the lyrics and kind of what we as a band felt hearing the lyrics. But I think also we put so much joy and love into it, and I feel like that comes across in the song itself. Just like the way that we play it has this propulsion and this joy. And I think that comes from loving the song, but also being with a producer who is really encouraging
and who gave us like a lot of space to be ourselves and to, because you know, like all of this happened very quickly and there's a lot of imposter syndrome that we all felt, and I think it was so wonderful to go in with a man that we respect so much, who also respects us, and just like, yeah, you guys are good enough to be here, you deserve it. And that was really special to have from him and from that process.
Do you feel like the sound of the sonics that we hear on this track, do you feel like it's something that all of you came into the studio already having in mind, or is this something that James brought to the table and was like, I think this is the perfect sound for these types of lyrics, for your vocals, for your instrumentation?
It was pretty solid before we went in. I think like we've been playing it for a while.
It doesn't sound too different or different at all, really, from the arrangements that we did on our own leading up to it. The quality that he added was more in how the sounds themselves were recorded. Just like he's such an incredible producer. There was so much attention to detail. So there's structurally and kind of sonically, the song is the same as it always has been.
He didn't try and change it or, you know, do anything. He just elevated it to this really beautiful place.
Absolutely.
Now I love that there's a guitar and there's a rhythm guitar and a lead guitar. So bass, you're on your own on this one. How did you feel? How did you feel that you had to kind of, I don't know, maybe did you feel like you had to step up your game to kind of go hand in hand with the two guitars? Or, you know, what was that vibe like for you, Georgia? And like, how do you feel that James helped you during this process?
Well, luckily enough, James actually drummed on the record. So I felt like
the rhythm section.
Yeah. So I felt like, wow, it's kind of in the rhythm section. It's like, holy shit. Oh God, James Ford's drumming. But yeah, I think my approach to the bass line of this song is I kind of had some like kind of funky inspirations for the chorus as well, just to give it like a bit of a dancey kind of groove. And I think that the drums that James wrote for it kind of lock into that dancey groove in the chorus as well. So
yeah, we wanted this kind of like galloping, like Americana cowboy like feeling, because like again, and it's so beautiful how it's developed as we played it live again, because it was quite a soft, quiet piano song. It didn't have that like so much fire in it, and then when we came in to write together, then it started to take shape in that way. And yeah, that it drives it.
Yeah, it's a really fun bass line.
Yeah, I mean the entire thing, like, and there's also more instrumentation, more instruments that I hear throughout this track. Like I feel like you had some musicians come in and play, like some session musicians. So
we got some brass,
we got some harp.
Oh yeah, we did.
So what was that process like? Is that something that they came in after you guys had already recorded this track and then you brought them in, or did you bring them in first and then did the rest of the skeleton? Like, what was that process?
I think we did it last.
Yeah, so we recorded the skeleton of the track first. So we got the rhythm section down, then added the guitars, then added vocals, etc. And then in the last week of the recording process, then we brought in the orchestra.
that was crazy.
So much fun. Our keyboard player Aurora is a composer as well,
conductor,
and she ended up conducting the whole thing. She scored it. conducted it. It was so impressive.
We do everything in house.
Yeah.
We didn't bring anyone else in.
We're very self-sufficient. It was just an incredible process getting to work with incredible professional musicians who brought such a flair and I don't know, so many interesting layers to the track.
Theatre.
We were using kind of inbuilt keyboard sounds to simulate brass, and I think you kind of get used to those sounds and think, oh, it sounds fine. But then when you had the actual brass players come in and do those lines, it changed the song completely.
It just came alive to have like real human brass on it. It just made it feel like so opulent and wonderful. It was so cool.
Abigail, I love that you mentioned theater, because I do get this whole vibe when I listen to the track, when I watch the music video that is out now, when I see clips of your live performances. It's a full-blown theater show, and even to the outfits that you're wearing in the music video and also on stage. How did you come about to, like, as a whole, how did you guys all come about and kind of design this whole picture that us as the listeners and viewers are now getting to experience?
I mean, I think we're all naturally drawn to that kind of theatricality in the way we dress, the way we present ourselves. And from the beginning of the project, that was something we talked about, like from day one. It's not just about the music, the visual, it's 50-50 music and visual. We want it to look like a spectacle, like we're trying really hard and build this world through how we look and through how it sounds.
We've always had an incredibly strong vision of what we wanted it to look like from day dot, when we sat down and we're like, right, what's the band called, what we look like, what's the world we live in, and we kind of designed it from the ground up. And that's still kind of the aesthetic that we have today. We thought of years ago, because we've always had this like incredibly strong vision of what we want it to look like. And that's what the music video looks like. That's how we dress on stage, kind of incorporating elements of theatricality and historical costume, but also fashion. And just like letting it evolve as well, like as we go on. I think it won't be, the next music video won't be the exact same style. I think we want to keep developing and changing and following our noses when we get inspired by something new. Like the record that we made is so diverse, so many different genres and influences, so I think that will come across in the way that we dress as well. We take different themes, periods, iconography,
books, films,
so everything. It will be a diverse palette of visuals as well as music.
A feast for the eyes.
Georgia, bouncing off on your comment of finding the name had an evolution, a small evolution in the last year. What was the significance of the addition of last to the dinner party?
So we had to change it because of Kamasi Washington's excellent jazz supergroup Dinner Party. There was already just some confusion with people thinking that we were playing Coachella. Obviously,
it was them. They were very nice. We got to. Our manager spoke to their manager, and they were like, "It's okay. You can have a similar name."
We were going through all kinds of like different names, completely different names. We like trying to come up with one that captured the same spirit as the Dinner Party. We just couldn't find an alternative name at all. And then I said, could we be just the last Dinner Party? And I think that adds something rather than
better now, I
takes
think.
away from it. It has like a kind of biblical illusion. It has kind of an end of the world, last big piss up before it ends. I think it actually adds to the cinematic world rather than detracts from it, because every other alternative name we could think of
was
have
not
the same
vibe. It didn't encapsulate like our ethos and our like passion for what we're doing.
The name is where we started, and it's so important to have that kind of as a manifesto of like inviting everyone to the table. It's
everyone can have a seat.
So will you be adding on to the tattoo, or are you going to have to get another tattoo now?
We had a lot of complaints from all our friends who got one.
Like shit, it's permanent.
But we're finding a way to just like stick the L in there.
Yeah, we'll be making updated merch tattoos.
Oh, they're real.
Oh no, they're real. They are real.
They're real.
Speaking of merch, there's a tour on the way, and I mean, your summer is already planned out, and on top of it, you're also opening up for a couple amazing bands, and I'm super excited about that. Talk to me a little bit about this upcoming tour. What can we look forward to, and what are you most excited about?
Well, obviously playing loads of. We're big festival goers, so getting to go to loads of festivals for free
and seeing all our favorite bands
Sick.
is so sick, and like being like included like on the same lineup of like people that we respect and love so much in our same circles. Sorry,
no,
so we're at the pub. And I think we're probably most excited for Florence and the Machine.
Yeah, for me personally, Florence and the Machine is like my biggest inspiration. I've loved her since I was like 10, been obsessed with her.
Yeah, she's the blueprint.
She is the blueprint of my entire life. And yeah, it feels pretty insane to get to share a
pretty
stage
seismic.
with her. Yeah, it just feels like a gift to the younger version of myself who would have absolutely loved that.
This whole band feels like a gift to our younger selves. I think that's like something that's really been prevalent in how we've seen this, is that we wanted to create something that is for us as teenagers that didn't have, you know, something like this to look up to and to have, and this just everything we do, it just feels like a personal sort of, if I could go back in time and be like, this is what you can do, this is, you know,
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching the band grow more than it already is. I feel like it's going to be, you're eventually going to be headlining these events that you are currently going to be a part of. But I'm looking forward to that. And I'm more importantly, I'm looking forward to the band coming to the States, specifically LA, because I need to catch a live show.
We want to come to LA.
So I really hope that it's something for 2023, because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this band.
We're coming.
You guys got me
coming,
good.
yeah. Watch out. If you like it or not.
I'm definitely loving that. So thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me. Congratulations with the new release, the debut release, Nothing Matters. And I'm looking forward to reuniting again soon.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah.